Thanks everyone for coming today. Today is another key milestone event in what is now the Victory League process, and today we're announcing the 8 successful clubs that will be offered a licence to participate within the competition. And without any further ado, I welcome Sean Collins, President of Football Federation Tasmania, to make that announcement.
Thanks very much, John. Yep. So we're announcing today the successful 8 applicants for the inaugural Victory League, which will start next year. And I'm pleased to say we've got a good spread. So from the northwest coast, we've got Devonport, 2 from the north, being Launceston City and Northern Rangers. And then down south, we've got Kingborough Lions, South Hobart, Hobart Zebras, Glenorchy Knights, and Olympia, being the 5 from the south, making the 8.
How did you come about selecting the teams that have made the cut?
Rightio. Well, that's a very important question, and one of the great things about sport is the passion that's involved in sport. So it can be a strength and a weakness, and obviously there'll be clubs who've missed out who will be disappointed. So it was very important for us as a board that we actually went through a very rigorous process. So what we did was we published the criteria. We sent out the applications to all interested clubs in mid-March. We gave them 2 months to complete the applications. The board then set up a subcommittee to review the applications. We were very fortunate in we had an independent person on the subcommittee, so Max Bingham QC. All the clubs were given an opportunity to meet the subcommittee and did so. Any questions that they had were answered. Then the subcommittee came back to the overall board with their recommendations following that process.
How many applications did you get all up?
We had potentially up to 17, and we had 8 that were chosen, and I think I would leave it at that. It was a competitive process, but we had to make some tough decisions.
You said you sort of got yourself covered across the state, but the Eastern Shore you haven't included parents. Did they apply, and what was the reason to leave that out?
We had 5 criteria, 5 main criteria that we made the judgment against. So one was the governance of the clubs, their constitutions and the committee and how they were set up. Second one was the infrastructure that they've got available. Third one would be the technical ability and the player pathways. Fourth one being the budget and their ability to participate in it. And the 5th one being their ability to market and sponsor the league, because this is a step up for these clubs, and that also was an important one. So there were 5 criteria, and as I say, we had more than 8 applicants. They were all reviewed against those criteria, which were weighted criteria, and 8 came out on top.
What are the plans in place for those clubs that did miss out?
Sure. So we'll still continue to have very strong regional, north and south, and I'm pleased to say that Forestry Tasmania, who currently sponsor the Northern and Southern Premier Leagues, have indicated they will still continue to sponsor the regional leagues. So those will still be strong leagues. Our next position now is we'll talk to the successful clubs and to the other clubs and just note out exactly what the underlying structure will be underneath the state league.
So the view is that those clubs will be weakened, they'll lose players to the teams in the Victory League. How are you going to address those fears of those clubs and ensure that those clubs do stay strong?
Well, I think in the end, it's like the market will have its say. So it really is a choice for players. So some players may decide they want to stay with their particular club because that's just the way they want to be. Others may wish to move to a club because they want to play at the highest possible level. It's really not for us to intervene in that. That's really an individual player choice. As far as we're concerned, though, the important thing is that we have strong leagues and opportunities for everybody. Because don't forget, our code runs from under 6 to people who are 60 who are still playing. So the Victory League that we've announced is really at the elite end, but our core business is administering the whole lot.
Those teams that have got into the Victory League, what finances do they have to sort of build to being of them?
Well, there is a minimum participation fee of $10,000 as an initial license fee, and then of course there'll be the costs involved in participating, which would be similar to all the costs they have at present, except perhaps an order of magnitude higher. All the clubs, as part of the application process, submitted budgets. The key thing for making it going ahead was that we had also sufficient sponsorship. So we set ourselves some targets in what we could do to help the clubs, so that the financial gap wasn't too big. Now, we announced the first one this week, which was Melbourne Victory, but there are quite a number of other ones in the wings which will be announced over the next couple of weeks.
Well, the weighting of the teams, there's 5 down south and 2 in the north and 1 in the northwest. Will that make it tougher for the teams in the north travelling down south? Because they will be travelling more often when there's more teams down here. Will that make it tough?
Well, I guess, I mean, that's just part of the geography. We didn't specifically go out to choose X or Y number from the northwest or the north. We really took the viewpoint, these are our criteria, and the best 8 will fit regardless of their geography. It's very pleasing that it's turned out this way, that we've got a good spread. And yes, it means if you're in Devonport, you've got some more travelling to do, but that's probably not new to them. I can recall in previous state league iterations, there wasn't always an equal number of teams north and south.
How are the clubs reacting when they've missed out and they've had the news when you told them?
Well, this news is just breaking now. Our CEO John has advised unsuccessful ones this morning. They're probably digesting it now. We will. It's a good process. We'll give them the opportunity if they wanted to have some feedback from the subcommittee who reviewed the applications. So the main thing is we've wanted to be really open, a transparent process. So because in essence these are our stakeholders, and they've seen that we've been as fair as it possibly be in this situation.
Sorry.
Sean, the media release says you'll be now writing to the clubs, inviting them to join the league. I mean, could this mean that someone will decline at the last moment?
Well, one would certainly hope not. So in essence, all 8 successful clubs have already signed an application form. So the next process from that really is an agreement which specifies out in a bit more detail the conditions around participation. There really shouldn't be any surprises. It's about just going into a bit more detail and then formally accepting on behalf of of the club that they want to be part of it.
What are the main differences between this new Victory League and the last state league? The last state league obviously didn't work out. Why can this one work out?
Well, I think as a federation, I can only speak for the situation now. I wasn't involved in football administration previously, so all I can say is this has been quite an involved process, and we set out a timeline about a year ago. We're offering this state league as a response to what our stakeholders want. So we put a lot of time into this. I think this time around it will probably be more professionally marketed, but in essence it's still a game of football. So I think we're just better prepared this time, and in terms of the financial backing, I think we'll be also better prepared in terms of our sponsors.
The key difference also is that the FFT will be covering the cost of travel, which in the past, in previous league, wasn't an option that fell to the clubs. So obviously the opportunity to be able to cover that will hopefully take some of the burden off the clubs.
So will that come out of the $10,000 licence fee for the travel costs?
Yeah, borne by FFT through sponsorship and licence fee and income coming from the league.
So just on that, because a couple of years ago when we raised this with the clubs, their main concern, and it comes back to your question, was around travel. And their attitude at the time was, we'd love to be involved in this, but travel was the thing that got us before. So you've got to offer us, you've got to cover the travel side of it. So we've done that.
Have you had any correspondence with the A-League? Have they sort of seen what you're doing down here with the partnership with Melbourne Victory, and have they been pleased by it?
Well, we only announced the partnership with Victory on Wednesday. All the feedback so far has been very positive. I've talked to my counterparts in Football Federation Victoria, who rang me to congratulate the board on this. We think it's a good model. We flagged it before as being a way of offering engagement in the A-League, because we don't think, certainly in the foreseeable future, that an A-League team for Tasmania is viable. So we think this is a good way of offering the opportunity to participate, and also for the public to see some more A-League action.
Obviously, you wanted the league to be called the T League originally. Are you worried that it's going to get called the V League now?
Not really. I think it'll be called the Victory League. We're not really that fussed about the name, and the most important thing was to get a good sponsor, and to get a strategic sponsor, as we did with Melbourne Victory, was great. The price that was calling the Victory League is a price we're quite happy with.
So it'll be the Victory League and then Northern and Southern under that. Is that how the pathway will work?
Yes.
So South Hobart have a team in the Southern Premier League, for example, and then
Yeah, it's still to be determined, the
Right.
structures, but the rough schedule is that the teams underpinning the club in the Victory League's underpinning teams will be represented through their regional competitions from Southern Premier League right down to that under 12 age group.
And those two Premier Leagues will be 8 teams again?
Still to be decided. Still to be decided. Could be a little more, could be a little less. It depends certainly on the clubs and the structure and underpinning teams that we come up with.
From the Victory League side of it, one of the things to participate in this, and the clubs had to agree that they would have a number of teams under 20, 18, 16s, 14s, and one of the reasons behind that is it allows us to connect into the national pathway, because that's what's happening in the mainland as well, and it makes sure that we're talking now about the clubs who are aspiring to be the elite clubs in Tasmania, that they are really developing the code as well.
So can we see a situation where, say South Hobart play their seniors in the Victory League and then they play maybe their reserve team they've got now, and that will go back into the Southern Premier League?
Loosely, it could look like that. Yeah, they will have a representation in the Southern competition, whether that's at under 20s level or a season or a senior team is still to be worked through with the clubs, and that's something we want to do very soon with both clubs in the Victory League and clubs outside of that.
Talking about the Victory Tour, where they come and play a state team and then they play up in Launceston, did Football Federation Tasmania fork out any money for that tour?
Certainly, we have to provide financial backing for it. Melbourne Victory are a business. Now, to bring them over for this week, we are dependent on people coming to see this game. We're dependent on the ticket sales. We've secured a number of sponsors. So yes, we haven't got any government funding for this. This is not like AFL. So we've had to cover this ourselves. So we're offering the opportunity to the public. We think it's a good opportunity, and that